Hello, welcome back to Planet AP. If you're new here, it's crazy out here, but you're gonna love it. Today, what I wanna talk about is something very important, which is how to be unfazed by the 3D. How do you stay in the frequency of being above circumstances in a way that there could be like massive shit shows going on here, and just the 3D is just acting out crazy, but you stay in your frequency. You maintain your state of consciousness. How do you do that? And that's what today's about. Period. Are you so for real? And here's the thing, because when people talk about, oh, it's pretty wet. Because here's the thing, a quantum leap is, we talked about, you're on this timeline, and then you make a shift, and now you're on a new timeline. So what needs to happen? A lot of people think when they come to quantum leaping and everything, right? They're like, okay, well, I'm just gonna be making these shifts and that's it. Life's just gonna be easy breezy. But here's the thing, for you to be over here, this needs to take place. This is the collapse. And this is the most important part of your quantum leap. Because over here, between you feeling all great and just happy for this new little reality, wow, there's rainbows and joy. Obviously, rainbows have different colors. You feel that, you send that energetic signature. Now, before it can come down and be perceived by you, everything that is not in resonance has to crumble. It has to fall apart. It has to. So this is like literally, it looks like destruction. And this is the part where it's like you gotta put your money where your mouth is, right? And this is the part that usually freaks people out, because they're like, wait a minute, how am I supposed to maintain this high frequency or whatever when all of this is happening? How do I not doubt? How do I not doubt when everything in front of me is collapsing? And that's what I call the frequency of being literally untouchable. It is the frequency of being above circumstances. So, because here's the thing, reality is what? It's a mirror. We understand that by this point, right? So what was, come on, what's gotta be so rude? Okay. So A, it's a mirror, and B, it's also echoed, which means that what you're seeing right now is a past energy playing out. So when the past energy is playing out, how do you not get tripped up by it, right? And this is why I'm doing a free webinar called Untouchable. It's on May 10th, I believe, 12 p.m. ES. It'll be on Zoom plus YouTube, and you can register for it in the link below. Because in this webinar, this is what we will be uncovering, but not just on an intellectual level, right? We're gonna go deeper into it to identify which part of you trips up. What happens to your nervous system when the 3D is showing some movie that you don't like? What do you do? Because, okay, let me also tell you something. When you're manifesting something, let me share this with you, okay? Here's what a lot of people don't talk about when it comes to manifestation. That is not just about the thing. Because here's the thing. When, let's say, this is you, and this is, like the new timeline that you have. When you're drawing this in, right, you're also, as a byproduct, drawing in all the processes, experiences, shifts, tests, whatever you want to call it, that you need to go through in order for you to let this timeline become your normal. So it's kind of like a character evolution type of thing. You know Pokemon, right? So a Charmander, right? Before Charmander goes to the next level and then eventually becomes Charizard, whatever. I think I pronounced that right. before that, Charmeleon, is that the one before? I don't know. But before that, it needs to go through an evolution. And how do Pokemon do that? By the fights, right? So they fight, their level increases, and they're like, okay, now you can evolve. And then you can, blah, blah, and then you can evolve. So it's kind of that. For this new timeline, you're gonna draw in this part, but that's not a bad thing. It's so that you can score those points, evolve, and then be able to perceive this timeline. Because the only reason you're not perceiving it right now is because you're not at that level of consciousness yet. So when you want to be here, you draw in the necessary shifts that you need to go through internally. Maybe that's releasing the guilt and the fear. Maybe that's, you stop people pleasing. Maybe that's making different decisions in energy. Maybe it's setting boundaries. Maybe it's learning to delegate, to rest, to take breaks. But all of that is basically designed so you can break out of the survival self. Because you can't be living in the survival self on this timeline. This self cannot be here. So in this process, how do you stay unfazed by the 3D? How do you make sure you're anchored within? That's what we're going to be doing in our free masterclass, Untouchable, the frequency of being above circumstances. And we'll, as always, be doing a little activation as well. So the link to sign up is below, and I'll see you there. Bye.